All right, good evening, people. This is the Sunday Smoke / House Family Fitness podcast because this is a subject that can probably go with both podcasts. Yeah. It's just like people that listen all the time should know that. It's Coach House, a.k.a. Vulcan, and the freight train is in studio again. This is becoming a good tradition to get him back in studio. So today we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about sport equipment technology. And that was really cool. That something just fell off.
That was amazing.
Amazing. It's like an insect fell and it's right here.
Yeah, it's dying.
It's dying. It's dying right there.
This is amazing.
So I know I was late in giving the Facebook event of maybe like 15 whole minutes. So hoping you were on Facebook to watch so you could be a live audience member. But, fell to that. But this morning, we came up with this idea because we were actually achieving two things. We went to play disc golf, but today was a rucking disc golf. So we wore our weight vest to play disc golf.
Which made it a little more cumbersome.
Yes. So it increased our fitness slightly more than without a vest.
Sure.
And we were looking at these discs that we have acquired in the recent past. And there's these numbers on there, and all the numbers mean something. So we started having the discussion of when it really matters for sports tech, like the technology of the equipment makes a difference. Like, when does it really make a difference? Because currently, we could have the best, absolute, outstanding, perfect disc for the game we played this morning, and it might have saved us, one throw? Because we're not.
No, man, because I wouldn't have thrown it right anyway.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing is that's one thing with this high performance equipment. They expect high performance input.
Correct. That's what we started talking about. That's why we came up with the topic of the podcast. Is like, when would it make a difference in whatever sport you're doing? I mean, it could be baseball, softball, running, disc golf. Golf is a great example of that because the technology of the equipment is like exploded since I used to play, and that's been several years ago. But I'm not skilled enough to get the technology advantage out of it, right?
Yeah, you because the thing is, you wouldn't notice if you notice an improvement in your game. You would only notice it if you practice, And then where did it come from? The tech, or did it come from the practice?
Yes.
And I mean that's the thing. I've heard of guys that go home in the afternoons and they will hit 500 golf balls. I mean, it's what they do for an hour or two.
Yes.
Every evening.
For fun, for skill practice, but they enjoy it.
For skill practice, and they enjoy it. And the thing is, if you did it with that kind of regularity, you could come to expect a certain amount of performance, and you might notice a 2% increase.
Yes. I was going to bring in the point. I don't want people to not get into something because they don't have the latest technology, especially with running.
Silly.
Yes. Yeah. Because we talked about that pre-podcast. You brought up the 4-minute mile guy. I've already forgot his name.
Roger Bannister.
Bannister broke the 4-minute mile for the first time in the mid-50s.
1954.
On May 6th, because it's right there. I just looked it up. Magic. And so far, I think the new record is, his record was 359.4. And now the record is 343.13. Do you think the technology he had would make a difference now? If he had...
Absolutely.
Yes, it would make a difference.
Absolutely, because, I mean, you got to think that not only did he run in shoes that were technologically inferior to whatever, the person that ran it 343.13 was wearing, but also he had to train in those shoes.
Correct.
But So he had to any incremental improvement, any 1% improvement, which I mean, he beat 4 minutes by 0.6 seconds. And so an incremental increase would have made a big difference to him, but he had to make his own incremental increases.
Yeah.
And
people getting started. That's what I want to kind of like phase into this. Is like you don't have to have the best, hottest equipment to get involved in whatever sport activity you're doing, because granted, it does it provides a benefit, but just like we need to just get out there and do it first. So you brought up the story about your son when he's playing baseball. Way back when, I don't know how long that's been. It's been more than a couple of years, right?
Yeah. It was a 25-year-old story. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you bought him his first bat, and it was just a plain wooden Louisville Slugger, I assume.
Yeah, Louisville Slugger bat, because I didn't know they were going to let the kids play with aluminum bats. And so that's the first one I bought him, and that's what we had practiced with. And when he got to practice and they got ready to go up to hit, he would swing an aluminum bat on deck. But then when it was time to go to the plate, he'd say, "Coach, can I get my slugger?" And they would say, "So heavy, you're not going to get that thing around." But in his head, that's what he could hit with. And that's what he did hit with. If that's something he had stuck with, then eventually he would have become a better hitter and probably would have become a better hitter with an aluminum bat.
He would see more benefit of the aluminum bat later because he used.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because if he kept training with that heavy wooden bat,
mm-hmm.
He'd be able to snap an aluminum bat around.
Yes.
But like I said, that's like a placebo effect.
Yes, exactly. I say, but if you do if you're that person that needs the best, newest technology to get started doing something, and if it's nothing but a placebo effect, so what? Well, that does not really matter because that effect is real.
Yeah, a placebo effect is an effect.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing is it's real no matter where it comes from.
It is into the means. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be because that actual object has a bigger sweet spot or prevents a slicer fade of the golf ball. It builds your psyche to do what you do, and you did it. Right? I mean, it's still the effect you're looking for. It doesn't matter if it's mechanical or, so we say, magical for placebo effect.
Yeah.
Magical versus mechanical. I mean, just trying to keep the two M's. Sorry, I'm squeaking because I got the chair against the desk. And I'm sure this high, that's awesome. This little dude fell from up there somewhere, and he's in death throes right here by the mouse pad.
Yeah.
Should I get the camera out and show everybody?
No. Because it's gruesome. Mm-hmm. I kind of think we need to do something.
No, we could. I mean, well, if he had better sports technology, he could have made the fall better, right? Probably not. It's probably just it's probably the chemical agents that have been spread around the house to prevent that, and he came across them, and this is the effect.
Yeah.
It's not placebo, I promise. This is not placebo.
That looks legit.
Yes.
I
don't know. Maybe I can just start telling all the pests outside, hey, look, I've sprayed this right here. You cross it, this happens. Placebo effect, and to see the percentage that work.
I mean, if you could somehow convince the bugs of this,
I have to speak their language. That's what I need to do. I need to learn another language. Add that into my.
Yeah, you can learn cricket.
It's a sport. It's a sport. Yeah, I mean cricket.
Yeah,
get the best sport tech for cricket. He did. She didn't. They did.
Reminds me of a joke.
Oh dear, here we go.
Two crickets sitting in a bar. One cricket says, the other cricket says, "I don't get it." And so it was a good joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It is a verbal expression that's supposed to bring humor.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you can't see what happened, it was don't worry about it. It was gruesome.
I mean, I'll put it in 1 by 1 instead of 16 or 16 by 9 or 6, whatever it is, 9 by 16, whatever the square is. I'll put it into 1 by 1. It's easier to share, and you'll be like, the line will be like, great. Yeah. Getting back to our subject matter. We're not rambling at all. We never ramble.
Skosh.
Yeah, this is a little bit skosh.
Yeah.
That's a good word, skosh. I like it. We'll see if the captioning will put skosh in there and spelled correctly. especially with the southern ease that goes on here.
Right.
Yeah, but like the tech on the sports equipment, I just don't want to get people. I just want to share with people. It's like, don't focus on that. Don't focus on trying to find the newest technologies. Like I have the little, like for runners, it's not a hot topic anymore, but it was the carbon plating, the carbon
carbon fiber plate,
that actually propel or give you some propulsion. Because scientifically, like doing tests on it, that little plate does like improve your running economy, which we talked about that before, all the way up to, or approaching would be a better word, 4%. So the economy of your running means the amount of energy you're putting in and the output you're getting out. That's the economy. So if I'm gaining 4% economy in my running, but if I'm an elite athlete on the extreme ends, like trying to break the 4-minute mile or the 2-hour marathon,
right,
that makes a pretty big difference because there's such small differences between the athletes on that spectrum. But these two guys,
yeah. The thing is, I wouldn't realize a 4% increase in our running economy. Number one, because I don't run every day. I would have to run every day, 4 times every day, probably run several laps or distances.
furlongs. Say furlongs.
Furlongs. Run several furlongs. But I mean, and time everything, and have been doing that. If I were going to notice a change based on solely the equipment,
correct. And then, okay, not to be cynical, I guess, but if you were training to that extreme and that much, how much is actually the equipment technology or your fitness increasing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You would have to already be performing at the top of your game and think, what else could there possibly be? Maybe I can squeeze another little bit out of the shoes.
So that could be the difference maker. I mean, that's like, but it's not a difference maker for the average athlete, unless it gets into the placebo effect or confidence or getting you started.
Well, yeah, I would say that, getting started, and it's not so much having the highest tech shoes, but having the shoes that are most comfortable for you to run in regularly.
Yeah, that brings up a point. It's like you just bought a brand new brand to you, and we tried them out yesterday at Oak Mountain. Was that your first any kind of distance or any kind of effort in them, or have you used them?
Close to it. I mean, I've done very little in them.
And you enjoyed them. It was perfect.
I really enjoyed them for a lot of reasons, and just mostly they were stable. But they were stable on my feet, which is, I probably don't run right.
It's shocking because, you ever seen that old show, the guy that pushes the car and his little short buddy with him? Oh, Fred Flintstone. This guy. That they designed the movie. It was the prequel of Freight's Feet. It's Fred Flintstone. I'm just picking on him a little bit because that's what we do here at Sunday Smoke. We bring levity into whatever subject and philosophy. We can bring philosophy. We haven't gotten yet.
We have not.
It's hard. We talked about it. I tried to bring up I wanted to bring in Plato a little bit. Socrates. Plato's Republic with Socrates.
I was excited because there's no carpet.
There's no carpet?
Yeah.
Why is that exciting?
But if you have Plato and you have carpet, it's a mess.
Wow. That was reaching.
That's where my head went.
That is. But if we can bring, I don't know if we can really bring it. I mean, it's like we had talked about the cave in the Republic. Is that the marketing of some of the sports tech? We're all chained in and we're looking at these devices and they're shining a light and projecting and showing what this can do and this can do and all that. But if we unchain ourselves and turn around and see what the real form of it is, then we're more educated about that form and we can turn around and know that just these projections saying I'm getting 4% economy or I have the larger sweet spot is really not making the difference in what we do. Is that a stretch? That's a stretch, right?
No, I mean that was it was a hell of a segue.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I try.
Yeah.
Keep trying. On and on and on. Yeah, there I go tapping the desk again, so I can make the little sound thing go to red. And for some reason, the technology. I mean, the technology. Perfect example. I mean, this is not sports technology, but I have this outstanding podcast software, outstanding editing software, and you see what we've increased 2.5 to 3% in the quality of the podcast.
Your enjoyment economy has gone way up.
Yes, that's a perfect example. I mean, it's like real life. We're in it. This is proof of concept. Now the audio is better.
Yeah.
I think the video is better. You know, we've worked on some lighting and worked on some audio placements, and of course, the new desk, the new studio, and like we decorated the wall.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's still us, man.
It's still us. Yes.
So I mean, we would have to be more practiced at what we're doing.
It actually might need to be technology that increases up to 94%.
Yeah,
quality, like instead of just
becomes 94% better.
Yes, and then this would be, we would retire probably.
We just sit here and let AI move our mouths. And
how do you know it's not doing it right now? There's a report right here. Matrix.
Yeah,
we talked about Matrix before.
Well, it's because the Matrix is like the cave.
It is. It is. That's a good point. It really is the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got some philosophy in here.
There we go.
We snuck it in. Meandered philosophy. It was just like
we meandered to it. So yeah, if you shortcut to understanding the cave, just watch the Matrix.
Yeah,
that's basically it.
The simulation theory that's come up. That's more philosophy. We're not going to get into that. Probably going to cut that out. Don't want to be on that list.
What list?
There's theories of we're living in a simulation like the Matrix. Yeah. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud. Because they're listening. Well, there's no conspiracies. That's just what they want you to think. It's my favorite statement on that day.
Yeah, that's what they want you to think.
Yes.
That's exactly. Cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we can spin back to different sports technology or sports equipment technology. It's like, like the disc golf thing. Reading the little numbers on there, which is probably going to piss off the disc golf crowd that watches this. I know they're watching it right now.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what the numbers mean. We started joking with each other. It's like, well, if I had one that was a 4-0 -2 instead of -4, I would have made this shot.
Cool. What was it? 2-0 -3 -1. And you're like, well, I don't know. Maybe I can make it with this. And then I made fun of you for it. Mm-hmm. And then I pulled out my putter and it's the same thing.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, oh.
But we're very new to that sport. It was more fun, and we got fitness out of it more than just walking because we added 20 pounds of weight vests. Yeah. So we're stacking habits.
And every time I had to pick up a frisbee, I had to stoop down, pick up the frisbee. I had to do that a little more than Mike did because mine don't go very far.
The power. No, it was just luck. Well, maybe it was the disc. It was the razor sharp edge of that high vis disc that I used.
I'm pretty sure we had the same ones, man.
Not exactly.
What different colors?
Yeah.
Does that make a difference?
Does it? I don't know. We could do a study.
I bought, I was telling you earlier, I bought bottle holders for my bike.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And and the guy was blown away at the ones I picked out. He was like, dude, so many people are getting these because they weigh 10 grams. And I said, it's purple like my bike.
The technology to you is like it matches the bike.
Yep.
But some people, it makes a difference that it weighs 10 grams.
Right. But I mean.
But does it really, unless you're at the end of the spectrum of being an athlete? Or going to really
here's the thing is, I mean, if you're down to worried about how many grams your water bottle bracket weighs, you really need to start thinking, well, I'm trying hard enough. Am I carrying around some extra weight? Probably are.
It's true.
Because there's no point in having the best machine, if you can't propel it.
I'm not saying we're not saying it's a bad thing to have the sport technology. You're not saying you should go back to being a caveman, but there's something, I don't know, it could be kind of cool about going back to like the Louisville Slugger or the Chuck Taylor shoes. Maybe it gives you a more base of fitness, and then you could see improvement with the technology. No.
Yeah. No, I had a single speed bike, growing up. Then when I was about 12, I got a 10-speed, and
you're looking at me, but I'm looking at you in the monitor.
Okay. Well, but the 10-speed, it was a boost in technology. I figured out how to use the gears, and I was able to push the bike a lot harder. But because I was able to push the bike a lot harder, I got a lot stronger. And eventually, I was riding this bike around in its top gear because that was faster.
And now you're back to the single speed.
Yeah. And so it was, but it wasn't because, I'm saying it wasn't because of the technology then. It's just because I had gotten stronger.
Yes. But the technology allowed you to get stronger.
Technology allowed me to get stronger.
So that's a benefit. That's the benefit of the sports technology, of sports equipment technology.
Oh yeah, and the thing is that one had the dangerous shifters where you had to take your hand off the handlebars and move the little levers.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, it built agility or coordination. Not agility, coordination.
Well, it prepared me for using a phone while I drive because I'm not looking where I'm going. I'm messing with something else.
Okay.
But that's what I love about mine now is I don't have to take my hands off of the handlebars at all. I can just tap the brakes. Tap the brake.
Just tap it in.
Seriously, you can tap the brake, the brake lever, the caliper handle, and change gears.
Oh. Well, some of the technology like that is actually safer too. I mean, the sports tech is made sport safer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's like reduced the fact that you have to have memory or look down when you're first starting a new sport. You have to look down and see where you're changing it. But now you can just, like you said, tap it. There's still a little learning curve in there.
There is a learning curve, but the thing is it is so much easier, and it becomes second nature. Real quick, it becomes second nature because it is so easy.
But it's improvement, safety is a good thing to bring up about technology on the equipment. I mean, even in shoes. I mean, shoes are much better. They're more foot shaped. They've finally gone that way, so it's actually healthier. Some of I don't know. We could get a big debate about the different technology of the foams and different thicknesses and all that. There's a lot of nuanced differences in there, but it is saves some impact, especially if you're new to running. Technically, we're designed to run barefoot.
Yeah,
I mean,
but your feet
we're not going to start.
Yeah, if you're starting, your feet are not accustomed to it. Go ahead and get you some bouncy shoes and pad along, and then when you start having problems, then you go ahead and start reducing because then you've been running enough for the bouncy shoes to be a problem.
Correct.
If you're not going to run enough, if you're not going to run enough for the bouncy shoes to be a problem, get the bouncy shoes.
Yes,
get the bouncy shoes. They feel good.
Or there's another way of looking at the bouncy shoes. It's like when you get to a certain point in these stupid, long, crazy events that we do, you get to the point where you need the bouncy shoes.
Sure.
Even if you're a true barefoot runner, there's at some point that you have broken down, damaged, stressed, however you want to phrase it, that tissue, that now you need the technology to help you continue doing the foolery that you are doing by running crazy long distances.
No, if you're a true barefoot runner, you're never going to put on shoes. You're just never going to put on shoes.
Well, yeah, we can hope. I have hope for humanity that we can use technology.
Yeah, but true barefoot runners.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an extreme example.
They're broken people.
Yes. That's an extreme example. I've been there. I've had, I try to do a flat-ish shoe, not really flat. I tried. Didn't work for me because I'm not a young spring chicken anymore, and there's a lot of running that I didn't do in flat shoes. but I've dropped down, and then as the event goes longer, they start coming back up, and the soles get bigger and bigger as the event goes on. And that's a good way of using sport technology.
Yeah.
Or sport equipment technology. Because if you just say sport technology, it gets into a lot of things, right? It's like, this is technology, counting your mileage, steps, heart rate, perceived effort, or not perceived effort. They have another word they use on some of these fitness devices, body battery or something. Tells me when I'm tired, how long I should rest. I mean, that's good information. I just don't want people to rely on it.
You don't want to rely on it, but also
it's a good input. It's usually as a good input.
Yeah, don't ignore it. If like on a Coros watch, if you get to a point where you're training every day and working hard, you get you gives you this little symbol, saying you're exhausted, and it's like this. What we call it the victory torque, because that means you've really been putting in the effort.
I'm glad you did that. That was awesome.
I don't know why I did that.
Yes,
that's going to live forever now.
It is. No, awesome. I'm going to try to get a cut out of that. It could be a T-shirt, poster. It could be a sticker for the back of your vehicle.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Victory twerk. Have you victory twerked today or this week? Not today. This week.
I have not. I haven't even gotten. I'm actually pretty fresh, as far as I know.
We'll work on that at the House Family Fitness Gym starting tomorrow. Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays is when he hits the House Family Fitness Chaos Gym, whatever you want to call it.
And it's so much fun. It really is. You really need to come and try working out. Try working out with Mike is different. I don't get hurt. I used to get hurt a lot, doing CrossFit and stuff, and I don't get hurt now.
Well, yeah, I'm preventative. I'm anti-injury. I try to prevent injury.
But it's a different approach. I just don't get hurt as much. And that helps me be more consistent. Consistency is important.
It is.
I think consistency is more important than the quality of your equipment.
I agree 1,000% on that. It's like, we can talk about sport tech in the gym, weightlifting, right? Because the barbell, granted, I have a really nice Rogue barbell, and I have another barbell that came from, I don't even remember when. You can still do the same exact movements on it, and the benefit of one of the barbells is, for an Olympic lift, it might have more whip in it. People know what I'm talking about. Well, that's beneficial to when you get a certain level of fitness or performance. Otherwise, it's not beneficial. So you don't have to spend all the money on buying the hot rod Olympic weightlifting bar to get the same effect, especially at the beginning. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I want to give people. You don't have to get the best of everything to start doing something.
Because until you're lifting enough weight to start bending the bar,
or start moving fast enough to get a benefit out of the whip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Until you're doing that, you're just not going to get any. There's not going to be any noticeable difference.
Unless it's a positive placebo effect, which it keeps you coming back.
Yeah. If it makes you feel good to read Rogue on your stuff.
Great company.
Fantastic company. Love you, Rogue. But
sponsorship opportunity, Rogue.
Yeah.
Because the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that will share this video on all the socials, it will increase your performance by up to 4%. It always comes back somehow. I always make it come back.
Yeah.
Advertising wrinkled up my shirt there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that was a good little discussion about how we feel about the equipment technology. I don't want people to get tied into always having the best. I was telling you, I don't know if I told you about a meme I saw here recently, because I watch a lot of comedians on Instagram, and it has this guy that he must be in that world of doing travel baseball or softball. I don't know. And he took a picture of all these bats lined up. It's like 4 or 5 bats lined up on the dugout. And he said, wow, look at there. There's $4,000 worth of bats. And we got 2 hits today. I mean, that makes me laugh. It just makes me think about wow, yeah, all that technology. Still didn't produce.
Yeah,
But
practice.
Louisville Slugger practice.
Bat and practice.
Or practice with the 2,000 or 150, whatever, $400 bat.
Batting practice is what's important.
Batting practice, not the bat. Running practice or running, not the running shoe. The barbell, moving the barbell, not the barbell moving. All right?
Nice.
It's nice. Yes. Yeah. They're full of wisdom sometimes. At least I impress myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens here on Sunday Smoke. We're very impressive to ourselves, at least. At the least. Up to 4%.
Yeah, so I think we're wrapping it up now. I think, I guess we'll see everybody. What?
And I will try. I'm not going to promise, but I will try to put out an invite on the Book of Face. If you want to be an audience member for this live production, because we can go live and you can chat with us through messaging on this software.
You want to do it Saturday next week?
Possibly do it Saturday next week. I'll put out on the socials. You message me, I'll send you a link, and you can see the magic happen in real time before we polish the gold and send it out.
It's the gold.
This is internet gold, but it has to be polished before we send it out.
Okay.
That's the biggest difference with the revamp of the podcast. So make sure you look at social media this week. Okay, I know a lot of people don't. And I'll put that invite out, make an event or I'll just put an invite out and message through the socials, and I'll send you a link, and you can be an audience member, a virtual audience member of the Sunday Smoke podcast. I don't know if anybody's going to sleep tonight. Now they know that.